Hello, YouTube, brothers and sisters in Christ. Um, I know I know I said I was going to give you my testimony this past Monday, but things came up and unfortunately I wasn't able to share it then. So I started praying to God and asking Him to please give me the right words to say. And I just wrote it down, everything He wanted me to share with you. So if you will please forgive me for reading from a sheet of paper my testimony. We'll begin. When I was a very young child, my heart stopped, and I had died. See, during the time I was dead, I did see a white light, like a lot of people say that you do. Well, I did see one, but I also saw plenty of bright colors. It's kind of like looking into a kaleidoscope. Um, I felt a deep, loving, peaceful feeling. And as I started going closer to the light, I was almost in the light. I heard a voice say, "You must go back. It is not yet time for you." At the sound of this, I was slammed back into my body. I woke up in the back of an ambulance on my way to the hospital. That was my first known encounter, or first encounter I remember with God. Growing up, my parents went to church every Sunday, and of course I went with them. I was a rebellious, sinful young man. I couldn't stand going to church, but I went out of respect for my parents. Things started getting worse. I started shoplifting and even stooped so low as to steal things from churches. It was about this time that I started getting into the paranormal. Bad mistake on my part. At first, just reading about it, and then I literally got into it, you know, by becoming a warlock. See, during this time, I got heavily into drinking also. Well, one day, I was taking a walk in the woods. I happened to lose my footing and fell off a cliff. I managed to grab onto a tree root and started to scream for help. Then it dawned on me that the path I was going down in life was definitely wrong. I realized there is God. God does exist. I cried and said, "God, please help me." Suddenly, a hand reached over the cliff, grabbed me, and pulled me up on the solid ground. After brushing myself off and collecting my wits about me, I stood to thank the person who had helped me, only to realize there was no one around. This was a profound time in my life for me, because that's when I started to realize there was a higher power than the one that I had been following. Well, one day, a Billy Graham movie came to town, and my mother and I went. I sat there watching the movie, crying almost the whole time. When the movie was finished, a local minister and some people from his congregation held an altar call. At first I stood trying to leave. Tried to get out of there, because, man, I started feeling like, wow, this is kind of creepy. But instead of leaving like I wanted to, I felt myself being pushed, but not by physical hands. I was pushed down the aisle to the altar call. I gave my life to the Lord that day, and I haven't looked back since. I will admit, I have backslid a few times, but each time I ask God to forgive me of my sins and open my heart back up to Him. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. How did I feel at the altar call? Well, you know how you feel when you get really dirty and grimy and sweaty and icky? Get that icky feeling? And then you step into the shower to wash off. That light feeling you get, how your body tends to like feel a lot lighter. Well, that's how I felt. Granted, I've backslid, like I said, a few times. Because no one is perfect. We all strive and try to be perfect, but none of us are perfect. Each has tried and fallen short of the glory of God. But I felt it was about time that I shared my testimony with you all. And until next time, peace and God bless. Have a beautiful day.